that he tried to hide his crimes and elude the police. A Juneau County Sheriff's deputy arrested Thu in Elroy last week. Thu's next court appearance is February 13th. A new online tool launched by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, or DHS for short, might help tackle the overdose epidemic. Here's Derek Tritz.
A new online tool launched by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, or DHS for short, might help tackle the overdose epidemic. The Wisconsin Suspected Overdose Alerts for Rapid Response System provides near real-time data pertaining to suspected overdoses, allowing for faster and more informed action by health professionals. This launch comes off the heels of reports showing that suspected overdose deaths are trending downward for the first time since 2018. This tool is not available to the public. However, the publicly available anonymous data on confirmed drug overdoses and substance use will still be available on the DHS website.
From local news to what's going on around the state, Civic Media's mission is to bring you real news and great conversation. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
A milestone for the Badgers. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. Men's college basketball. After a string of conference wins, Wisconsin is back in the nation's top 25, ranked 24th this week. The Badgers host Ohio State tonight in Madison, and if they win, it'll be Greg Gard's 200th career win as head coach. Gard has helped players improve their game, like forward Steven Crowell.
Steve is best when he's aggressive. And I think the last 4 games, we've tweaked how we sub him in and out a little bit. I think it's helped him, but he knows an aggressive Steve is the best Steve.
NBA, the Bucks are in action tonight at Fiserv Forum. They host the Sacramento Kings. NFL, Packers players cleaning out their lockers now that the season is over after losing to the Eagles Sunday night. The Bears have requested to interview Packers offensive coordinator Adam Stenavich for their head coaching job. They also plan to meet with Mike McCarthy, who was not renewed by the Dallas Cowboys. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Clear but not as cold tonight, lows near 0. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, a chance of flurries in the afternoon, highs in the mid-20s. Continued warming Thursday and Friday, temps well into the 30s before much colder air returns for the weekend. Bathroom remodels, only $99 a month at BCI Bath and Shower.
Hi, I'm Michael Friedman, CEO of Simple Life Hospitality. Let us take the hassle out of vacation rental property management. We'll maximize your earnings and handle every detail from cleaning to maintenance and repairs. For guests, enjoy a stay that feels like home with hand-selected properties, personal touches like local recommendations, and extras like concierge service that will make your trip unforgettable. Whether you're a homeowner or a traveler, experience the Simple Life. Visit simpleliferentals.com.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Did you know that art is actually good for you? We'll tell you all about it on the next New Wisco Weekend. I'm Lisa Hale.
I'm Terry Barr. From your health to our economy, how art impacts you and
Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood. And now, a guy who appreciates a nice hot meal at a fair price, Pete Schwaba.
Good evening, Wisconsin. How is everybody doing? I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for joining me here at Night Light on this Tuesday night. We will keep you company for the next 2 hours and hopefully take your mind off whatever you're stressing over as we talk about some of the more fun things in life, like TV and movies and comedy. And tonight, we're talking nutrition. We're only 2 weeks into the new year. And I think the second Friday of the month is people typically have tossed their New Year's resolutions aside. A lot of New Year's resolutions include losing weight and getting healthy. Conrad, I remember you gave a very vague New Year's resolution when you said, I just want to get more healthy.
Yes.
How's that going?
It's going good.
Have you?
I'm eating a lot better is the main thing I wanted to do.
Nice. All right. Well, I think that's the most important thing. Even more so than exercise. But tonight we're gonna do a deep dive into nutrition with our first guest at 6:35. Sherry Stoka joins us. She owns Wayless MD down in the Milwaukee area, and Sherry's great. I've talked to her before about health and nutrition, and she's got all the answers. She will be here at 6:35. I've got tons of questions for her. You will be allowed to text in your questions for Sherry as well. So she'll be here at 6:35, and then we are going to rock out tonight. We've got Ask Your Mother in the studio at 7:20. Two of the guys from Ask Your Mother, Eric Ratzak and Adam Krause, will be here at 7:20. And, you know, those guys are so much fun. I think, honestly, if I had a house band, it would be Eric and Adam. I don't think they have any interest in that because I don't have the budget for it.
They can do it for free, don't you think?
Yeah, they don't have too much going on. They are one of the hardest working bands in the area, and it's going to be fun to have those guys in the studio. Always a great time. We've got, we've got a lot to get to tonight. There's a lot of stuff going on. What do you think? Okay, today I woke up and I saw 3 articles on different websites. When I write these Hollywood beats, Tom Brady is all over the place. It's not really Hollywood, but it is show business because it's sports and because Tom Brady is a personality now. He seems to mess up a lot. And it's funny. It doesn't bother me. Like, I don't lose my mind over it. Color commentary is like, it's not that difficult. I think you could do it, Conrad, and do a decent enough job. I don't think you could forecast plays, but I think you could say, that was a really nice catch over the middle.
And he caught the ball.
Yeah.
And he's going.
Coach does not look happy with him. Well, he just threw an interception. It's not rocket science. I mean, they're paying Brady $375 million because he's got 7 Super Bowl rings, thinking he will have some insight into color commentary, which he does. He's a brilliant football mind, but it doesn't mean he's necessarily articulate. He does seem to forget a lot of stuff. I mean, the guy's been hit in the head a lot. He played football till he was in his middle age. He's going to forget a few things. Or maybe he's nervous. I don't know. But people lose their minds over this. Social media comments, he's not qualified. Get him out of the booth. Like, who are you and where are you texting from? What are you doing with your life? And I don't need to fight Tom Brady's battles. I'm hit or miss on the guy. He's a great quarterback. I don't know anything about him, though, other than his marriage didn't work out. And that made me sad.
Really? It made you sad?
A little bit. I'm a Gisele Bundchen fan, I'll be honest. No, but whatever. The guy, he's Tom Brady. He's just fine. Greg Olsen is great at color commentary.
Greg Olsen is amazing.
He's the best. And I think what some fans are upset about is that Brady replaced Greg Olsen, maybe, on some broadcasts. And Brady seems to have an issue with the Packers because whenever he calls a Packers game, he forgets stuff.
He doesn't like the Packers, and he doesn't like the Eagles.
But you're just saying that because that's when he makes his goofs, or you really think that?
He actually just does. I don't think just from his career, I don't think he likes those two teams.
Okay. But he wouldn't make himself look like an idiot on purpose. He could say, he could say something passive-aggressive about the teams, not go, oh, I can't remember who else the Packers lost to. Take some notes.
Sometimes you get a little CTE in there. And I think
it could be, and that's not a laughing matter. If that's what he's got, okay. However, the rules changed in the NFL. Terry Bradshaw took hits.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was protected, by and large, for a lot of his career. I'm glad those rules exist because sucky quarterback play is no fun. You have to some degree, protect the quarterback. I'm glad those rules are there. And I think those rules allowed Brady to play much longer. And I'm not saying this for selfish purposes. Watching football isn't fun with bad quarterback play. But I also care. I mean, when I see a guy get hit on the field, it's since we now know what happens to the brain, since all of the science has come out, it's horrifying. So I'm glad we protect players as best we can. My point is, Brady, I don't think would have played into his mid-40s had he played in the 70s.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But people don't. Terry Bradshaw messes up all the time. He
Yeah.
can't think of his word. People don't go after him. They go after Brady. Why? Because he's loaded. He's got 7 rings. He's good looking. I don't know.
It's just the day of Twitter or X,
Right.
where everyone just has to go after someone.
It's easy
every
to
day.
take shots at people from behind your phone, whatever.
You know who's really good though? Jim Nantz.
Oh, he's great.
It was his 500th broadcast last week.
That's all? I mean, I don't mean that sarcastically.
I think
he seems
just
like
in the NFL, because he does a lot of other sports too.
he does golf, right?
He does golf, I think, and
I thought he
maybe
had done-
I think he does some more stuff too.
Jim Nantz is great. Al Michaels is great. The play-by-play guys, by and large, like that's what they're trained to do. And they still make mistakes every once in a while. But Tom Brady, I guess it just doesn't bother me. I'm not tuning in for the sole purpose of seeing Tom Brady speak eloquently. I'm not. If he messes up, I go, oh, okay. And one time he called the Eagles the Phillies, and he goes, I'm sorry, I meant Philly. Okay, but people are losing their minds over that? Like, get a life. It's crazy.
That's a pretty simple mistake.
Very simple.
They do got a baseball team there that's called the Phillies.
Correct. And even if he said Phillies and meant Phillies, not a big deal.
Yeah.
If
you said the Philly cheesesteaks, that would be a little different.
That would be weird. That would be maybe time for an appointment. So I have to get to a text last night because we ran out of time. I had so much fun with Victoria Davis. She was such a great guest. I saw Steady Eddie's text here, and I said, we'll read that to close the show. And I did, but I ran out of time. So I'm going to read Steady Eddie's text. Last night, our question was, what is your favorite superhero movie? We also talked a lot about the Milwaukee Bucks. So I kind of rushed through Steady Eddie's text. I want to read it. I want to take my time, take a breath, let the text breathe. He's one of our regular texters. And Steady Eddie says, Pete, I remember the Bucks in their beginning, and I was big into basketball, and I loved the Bucks. The Bucks radio play-by-play guy had nicknames for the Bucks players like the Cement Mixer, the Greyhound, Cowboy, Gentleman John, the Electric Eye, King Kareem. I myself did some serious balling back then. Sometime I'll tell you and your listeners about my perfect game on the hardwoods. On one magical day, I went 5 for 5 from the field and 2 for 2 from the free throw line.
Wow.
It's 12 points. I don't know if that's
magic. Impressive.
It's a nice outing. Steady Eddie, he says, you can't do better than that. That's true. That is a perfect stat line. My perfect shooting percentage performance has been tied, but never surpassed at any level, high school, college, or even the NBA. The St. Denis team we played against that Sunday afternoon in the Catholic Youth Organization League was a real defensive juggernaut, so please stop giggling. He knew I was going to giggle. He knew I was going to read that and giggle. Get out of my head, Steady Eddie. Sorry we ran out of time yesterday, but we appreciate your text, buddy. That's great. Tom from New Berlin. I'm sorry, I read that. Tom from New Berlin tonight says Nance and Romo, awesome. You know, it's weird. I loved Tony Romo when he started out, but I kind of feel like he's gotten lazy. I don't know. Tony Romo, when he first started, could like predict the next play. It was crazy. I'm not seeing that anymore. Not that I expect that. That's like magic stuff. But I don't think he's as good as he was when he started. I could be wrong.
Do you think that'll be Tom Brady down the line too?
I mean, Tony Romo started at his ceiling, in my opinion. I hope this is Brady's floor. But he doesn't need the gig. The guy, like, is a part owner of the Raiders. He's loaded for life. He probably gets money from his ex-wife, because I heard at one point she has even more than him. So maybe she's paying him husband support. I have no idea.
Have you heard about that Eagles fan that was yelling at the Packers fan during the game?
I did, and I was going to bring that up. That's really... He's lost his job.
Yeah, he got fired
today. He's banned from the stadium forever. And people on Twitter are in a lather over that, too. Oh, this guy, he's just a sports fan. Really?
It's one thing to be a sports fan and one thing to just be plain hateful, you know?
That guy, had what he was saying had nothing to do with sports. He's a miserable human being.
Yes.
And you got to be careful. Like, this is the day of social media. You think you're going to get away with that? You're either going to get punched in the face, which I'm sure people wanted to do.
I'm surprised that guy didn't. But he held his he's just like, all right, we're just gonna ignore you now.
The fiance or the husband or whatever?
Yeah, the husband. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's what a lot of people are on Twitter would say. Back in my day, I would have just punched him out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure
surrounded by Eagles fans. You're the only Packers fans up in the nosebleeds. Okay.
Exactly. So, I mean, look, the guy, you don't want to escalate it. You're right. Well, what if 20 guys pounced on him?
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen.
Security. I don't know. Whatever. The guy, I don't know what the right punishment is, but I have no sympathy for that guy.
I don't either.
You cannot say that to another person.
Did you see what's that girl got?
Yeah, they sent her Packers swag, right? Or something like that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
She already had some.
She's
got a lot more.
Decked out in it, now she's got...
all right, when we come back, I'm going to talk about Wisconsin roads and how they're too dark. You won't want to miss that, folks. And I'm watching Fear the Walking Dead again. I don't know. I need help. But I'm watching it because my daughter wants to watch it. All right, Sherry Stoka coming up at 6:35. Get your health questions ready. And we didn't do our question of the night. We got to do that when we come back, too. We'll put the question out there. This is Pete Schwaba and Nightlight on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Settlement 97.9 WGBW.
Max Inc. on Civic Media, live in the lair with Kaylin Cole.
Have you ever walked away from a karaoke performance thinking, yeah, that was a lot better than the original person?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I should admit that or not.
I think you should. Because now we know there's a song.
Jimmy's talking on it now.
I know. Oh, you're going to get me in trouble, Jimmy.
It's live in the lair. Grab the podcast now at maxincradio.com and listen live on Saturday nights, 6 to midnight across the Civic Media Radio Network.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Matt Nair on air.
Robotaxis made by Zoox are slated to hit the streets of California later on this year. Rides will initially be free for people who agree to test it out. You go first.
Wait, have you ever wanted to drive in a 4-person casket with no driver?
My biggest sticking point about this is the name. Zoox is a cartoon character.
Yeah. Do you think when he's driving, he's going...
Awooga.
Matt Nair.
About TV personalities, and we did not get to our question of the night. Conrad, let's get to the question of the night, shall we?
Talk about the question.
Okay, question.
Question.
Pregunta.
Question. Hey, I have a question. Questions?
This question.
Domanda.
Question.
Folks, send them my way. I'm a former comedian, current writer, and radio host. Who better to ask about your diet and nutrition questions? And if I can't answer them, I probably can't, we will direct them to our first guest tonight, Sherry Stoka, who will join us at 6:35. She's great. She owns Wayless MD outside of Milwaukee, and she sent me some topics that we should get into tonight about diets people do, big mistakes people make. So that's going to be a fun discussion. I've always been kind of fascinated by nutrition. I'm always willing to try a new thing. I was a vegan for 9 months at one point. I've done keto. I did the cabbage soup diet back in the 90s, which was awful. But send us your diet and nutrition questions. We can have some fun with those, and we can send them Sherry's way as well. And you can do that at 855-752-4842, 855-75-CIVIC. That is how you get a hold of us, old school, on the phone. You can also try to, or you can text us on the app. Just open up that Civic Media app, and we are on statewide. So just press the little icon next to whatever station you're listening to and fire away. Conrad, let us know how we can watch Nightlight on the radio, on the TV.
Yeah, so if you go to Facebook, we're under WISS, Nightlight with Pete Schwaba, or WGBW. On YouTube, it's Civic Media, WGBW. And Twitter, Civic Media, or WGBW.
Perfect.
Give us a like.
Give us a like. Get a hold of us any way you can, but get a hold of us. We did pick up a couple follows yesterday. We're getting close.
Go.
We're close to 600 follows and 300 likes. So, yeah, absolutely. They don't cost anything. I felt kind of bad. Last night I said I felt like a panhandler when I'm asking for likes and follows, but that's what people do. Like, you go on social media, it's all about, that's all they want. So it kind of comes with the territory. And I just realized last night when I went off the air, they're free. It doesn't cost anybody to give a like or a follow. So I have no problem asking. I've done an about face there. I can swallow my pride. So here's what I'm going to talk about right now. Driving here, I had to pull over to get gas. And I've noticed since I commute, and it's typically dark both ways unless it's summer, Wisconsin roads are not very well lit.
No.
And, I have pretty good eyesight, but I pulled over, I think it was Sunset Beach Road or Brown Road, one of those, and I pulled into the wrong lane. And I'm heading towards oncoming traffic. And I'm like, wait a minute. There was a median strip there that was not lit. Like, I just made a left turn off the exit ramp, and I'm driving, and my nightlight life flashed before my very eyes. I had to back up quickly and go around the median strip. There's a big curb. Otherwise, I just would have drove right over it. But there was no marker, no indication. And when you go out here and you go down Main Street into downtown, we are downtown, but onto Broadway, and up to 43, it's very dark.
It is.
Have you ever gone that way?
Yeah,
it's awful.
It's dark. I don't know what it is with Wisconsin, but everywhere, I feel like every city, there's some part that's just not well lit. And it's kind of nerve-wracking going down that road.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a problem. And, we have a lot of, I would say Northeast Wisconsin has its share of old folks. I feel bad for them. Like, my eyes are halfway decent. But, oh, my God, I just, whatever. You know what? I wouldn't even be mad if the ticket I paid over at the parking garage here that I complained about last night, if that's going to light the roads, I'm happy to do that. I'll send you an extra 50. But let's get that going. So I finished the show Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. It's a Taylor Sheridan show. A lot of people are equating it to Yellowstone. I got to say, I like Billy Bob Thornton. Like, when he's not the lead, I take that back. I saw him in a show called Goliath a few years ago, and I liked Goliath. But when he's emphasizing or exaggerating that Texas drawl, it kind of gets old. And he's an immensely talented guy. He's a great actor. He wrote one of my favorite film noirs ever, One False Move. He's very good. Sling Blade was great. But this show is it's like Dallas if it was even trashier. He's got a 17-year-old daughter played by a 28-year-old, but it's all about her having sex with her boyfriend, and the mom is Ali Larder, and she comes in, and it's so you got this kind of interesting story about oil in Texas and our dependency on oil. and the drama therein around an area called the Patch in Texas. That was interesting. But I don't know. There was just something kind of slimy about the show. I'd love to know what you think. If you've seen Landman, let me know. 855-752-4842. I'm also watching Fear the Walking Dead that my daughter, I saw it and I was not blown away by it, but my daughter is still home from college and she wanted to start it because she loved The Walking Dead. And I said, well, I like The Walking Dead too. I don't think Fear the Walking Dead adds up. I'm sucked in now. I don't like it, but it's become part of our nightly routine. So now I look forward to it, even though I don't like the show.
It's a hate watch, huh?
It is. It's a hate watch. It's a way to spend time because we make comments throughout the show. So it's sort of bringing us closer together. It's allowing us to spend time together at night. But yeah, the show is not that great. It's kind of all over the place. Did you watch any of The Walking Deads? Were you a fan?
No. You know what I did watch, though? The first episode is called Shifting Gears. And have you seen Last Man Standing with Tim Allen?
I mean, when it first came out, I checked out an episode or two, but yeah.
I love that show.
Okay.
And it obviously went off air, and then they made a spinoff now called Shifting Gears, and it's just Tim Allen and then his daughter.
Okay.
So first episode came out, and it's a little different because they made his wife die, but other than that, it's funny so far.
Okay. Network?
Fox.
Oh, but it is a network sitcom. Okay. All right, that's worth it. So thumbs up on that one, Shifting Gears. I'm going to go mediocre on Landman.
Oh, wow.
And thumbs, I'm going to go mediocre to thumbs down on my second viewing of Fear the Walking Dead, which I'm already in season 3. I could be watching new stuff right now.
Yeah.
But because I want to spend time with my daughter.
Hey, there's a new season of Kitchen Nightmares. There you go.
Barf. I shouldn't say that. I can't watch those shows.
You just don't like it? Or like
it's not that I don't like it. It's just not I'm not interested in it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not well done. I don't know. All right, Cherry Stoka is coming up next. Shoot us your nutrition and diet questions. Let us know what you're watching. Whatever. It's a wide open thing. This is Pete Schwaba Nightlight. We'll be right back on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This local program? Find the complete Civic Media lineup at civicmedia.us or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. It is mighty cold, and as temperatures drop into the single digits and below this week and next, UW Health Kids has essential safety reminders to keep the young ones safe in winter weather. Rizelle Eithun, the Child Safety and Injury Prevention Manager for UW Health Kids, says many winter injuries are preventable. She reminds families to let children come indoors periodically to prevent hyperthermia or frostbite. Wear sunscreen and stay hydrated even in the cold. Indoors, make sure that there's a carbon monoxide detector on every floor, including sleeping areas. And when in the car, wearing bulky clothes or winter coats can prevent a snug, proper fit of a child's car seat harness. Adjust the harness while the child's coat is off, then put the coat on top like a blanket. Wait until you arrive at your destination before putting the coat back on your child. See our story at WGBW.FM for more safety tips. While the NFL seems to have the Super Bowl on its mind, the city of Green Bay, its organizations, and the community are thinking ahead to the NFL Draft 2025. Green Bay Council member and president of On Broadway, Brian Johnson, says programming plans are underway.
When we look at programming, we recognize that there are people in our community that can benefit from this event as well and will want to participate. We have folks from out of town that be looking for things to do. But we know that when they're at the draft, they want to be at the draft. So our programming efforts are really focused on the hours that are before and after.
The NFL Draft 2025 comes to Green Bay April 24th through the 26th at Titletown and Lambeau Field. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. The show must go on. Despite wildfires continuing to burn, production will start up again in Los Angeles. After being put on hold last week, Variety reports that shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live, NCIS Origins, and The Neighborhood will resume production. Other shows like Hacks, Suits LA, Ted, and Amazon's Fallout have not resumed production after being affected last week. Hollywood continues to rally around the victims of the LA fires. The latest organization to donate money is the Screen Actors Guild and American Federation of TV and Radio Artists. SAG-AFTRA had closed its offices due to the fires, which started January 7th. The union also postponed its in-person award nominating ceremony. SAG-AFTRA president, actress Fran Drescher, offered support to victims and those who have lost their homes and announced her union would donate $1 million to victims through the SAG-AFTRA Foundation. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
This is your local Civic Media radio station. Want to hear even more? Anytime? Find all of it at civicmedia.us.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Clear but not as cold tonight, lows near zero. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, a chance of flurries in the afternoon, highs in the mid-20s. Continued warming Thursday and Friday, temps well into the 30s before much colder air returns for the weekend. Bathroom remodels, only $99 a month at BCI Bath and Shower.
What's worse, fast drivers or slow drivers? Karina listening on WAUK in Milwaukee.
Slow drivers are the worst. They think too slow. They stop in the middle of the highway to think about where they're going. Maybe they need to turn left and right. They changing lines for oh my God, I can do all day long.
Karina, can you tell us what you really think?
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Maggie Dawn Show.
Here's what the WSJ had said after J6. This week has probably finished Donald Trump as a serious political figure. Boy, that hasn't aged well, has it?
No, not at all. In the Wall Street Journal. So after what they just said 4 years ago, Maggie, they couldn't bring it upon themselves to say that guy who did that shouldn't be anywhere near the White House again. Nope, couldn't do it.
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app. Dom Selvia.
Next time, Matt Rothschild will join as co-host. Trump proposes an external revenue service. Can you reduce the size of government by
That's a good one. Eric from Lodi says, nutrition question. We'll say this for Sherry. I just want to read it because it's so bizarre. Are Homo sapiens considered white meat or dark meat? Asking for a friend, who I assume is a cannibal. Unrelated, what's your Blue Sky handle? I don't know if I want to give that out. If you're asking, it's just Pete Schwaba. Same as Twitter, same as Facebook, same as all of the above. Thank you, Eric. Always a fun texter. All right, this is exciting. We've got just a fun show tonight. Two of the guys, Eric Rathsack and Adam Krause, are here from Ask Your Mother. They'll be rocking the studio at 7:20. Right now, it is my pleasure to welcome someone I've gotten to know over the years. She's just great. She owns Wayless MD down in the Milwaukee area, and she is a dietitian and nutritionist and incredibly knowledgeable. So if you are concerned about your health, it's good that you are here tonight. It's my pleasure to welcome Sherry Stoka. Sherry, how are you?
I am doing well. How are you? It's been a while.
It's been a while. I went on like a 5-year sabbatical, so I'm back.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Not. It wasn't self-imposed. It was the industry wanted nothing to do with me. I'm kidding. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm sorry. I'm like noticing all my lights in the background. I'm trying to minimize the lighting, but I'm doing well. You know, I'm excited to be here. I feel like there's still like a lot of information, like really good information that needs to get out there. So I'm excited to talk to you.
Same. We made every night, Sherry, we do a question of the night. And tonight we made it, what are your diet and nutrition questions? So we're going to kind of gear them to you as they come in. I'll take a crack at them myself and mislead people. And then you can come in and play cleanup if that's okay.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. So how long do people typically stick to their New Year's resolutions? Do you know when it comes to diet and exercise?
Yeah, so I mean, based on kind of the things that we see and based on, obviously some research that they do, it's usually like 30 days, 30 to
Wow.
45 days. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's not that
Yeah.
long. And in fact, honestly, I'm surprised that some people last that long.
Yeah, well, and and I would expect it to just get shorter and shorter because as our health deteriorates more, weight loss resistance increases, and so people get frustrated super quick.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like, why am I doing all this when nothing works? And then
Right.
the cycle continues.
It's so hard because when you get older, I think I mentioned in an email to you, I was doing this great program. I've tried a lot of different things over the years. When I moved back to Wisconsin, I had an awesome 3.5 pack. I don't need any kind of pack now, but I'd like to get, where I'm lean and healthy. And I've had moments where I've been close, but I can't seem to follow through. So this fall, I dropped about 20 pounds. I did like a keto thing during the day to give up gluten as well. And then I fasted like from 4 to 10. And it was working. And I'd get up and take a walk, then I would do that. And I don't want to say it wasn't sustainable, but I went to a wedding and then I got sick. And then now I'm a month, I feel like I put on like 6 or 7 pounds already. Yeah. What do you tell people who have trouble sticking to some? First of all, if you don't mind, tell me what you thought about my plan, if it sounds healthy. And what do you tell people who have trouble sticking to something?
I mean, the plan that you were doing should be a very short-term plan. That is absolutely not sustainable. Well, first of all, there's just a lot of, misinformation that goes out there about keto. I mean, keto is good short-term. It is not good long-term. There are very so if you think about, okay, so the keto eliminates carbohydrates, right? So you're having like minimal carbs. And when I always go back to the foundation, and I tell people all the time, when you don't have the foundation set, weight loss is going to be a constant struggle. And one of the foundational components of weight loss is gut health. And the gut thrives off of carbohydrates. You need fiber. Really? You need that. So keto is good. It absolutely can help like insulin resistance. I mean, there's studies that show it helps, other like different like epilepsy and things like that, but it should absolutely not be long-term. And then you have fasting, which I kind of feel like people are a little confused with that too, because intermittent fasting was designed to be done intermittently, not every single day, because the body loves a little bit of stress. It doesn't like prolonged stress. So the more you stress the body, you're pushing it more into like weight loss resistance. So there's like that fine line. And I feel like with you, and I don't know, you said that you started to gain. Was it because people that continue to do what you're doing, it will absolutely stop because of the stress on the body.
Okay. Well, what I would do is do like Monday through Friday. I would do that. And then I would do, I didn't want to call it a cheat day, but I would have, a couple potatoes and a steak and maybe a real sugar soda, something, because I don't even drink anymore. So I feel like I got to have some fun. But then I would go back in the program, and it was sustainable until, like I said, I got sick. And I don't know, maybe I eventually would have fallen off of it anyway. But the benefits I've read from fasting about keeping your levels down and how, it gives your digestive system a break and all that kind of stuff. But you're saying short term.
Intermittent fasting so there was two different components there. So doing intermittent fasting 5 to 6 times a week, I think is too much. If you wanted to be an intermittent faster your whole life, because there's huge benefits, I would do it 2 to 3 times a week. And, kind of, you have an eating window and you have a fasting window, but so your body's like recovering in the meantime, so if you're doing it, you said 5 to 6 times a week.
Let's call it 5 days. Yeah.
That may be a little bit too much, but then the other component to that is, what are you getting when you're eating, and how much are you getting when you're eating in that feeding period? So there are there's multiple things that come into play, but I think what's really important for again, for what you're doing is making sure that you're not stressing the body too much, because it doesn't like that.
Okay. When I'm not fasting, it's pretty much just strict nachos Belgrande.
Okay, right.
All right. And I always like I'm willing to try stuff. I think what I'm going to settle on is whole foods, like still do 18 to 16 hours a day fast, 5 days a week, but I don't want to not eat vegetables or fruit and cut out, bread and pasta and that kind of stuff. I don't need that. And that I have no cravings. And that's what's so great about it when you're in a routine. Yeah. And I've done vegan. I did the cabbage soup diet in the 90s. I've tried keto. I don't do well with moderation, I think, is my issue. And I think a lot of people have that. What do you tell them? What would you say the best approach is? Is it moderation? Is it following a program? Maybe they could find it Wayless MD. What do you think?
Yeah, it's such a great question. So the problem is that the majority of people, so it's estimated that 98%, I might as well say 100% of people, 100% of Americans have some type of metabolic dysfunction. We should be able to consume food, kind of deviate a little bit, come back, reel it back in, and not gain weight, right? But because of our state of health, because of the lack of exercise, the poisoning of the standard American diet, we're all in the rat race. We're stressed all the time. People rely on medications to sleep. So it is all of that. If you came to the table and you're a healthy person, you can do all of that and you're going to rebound in a millisecond, right? But now we're so sick as a country that, now it's just difficult to say like, oh, I'm going to go on a juice fast, or I'm going to go on this and that to reset. But it doesn't work that way anymore because of how the body's functioning.
Very interesting. Can you just describe, I had to look it up before because I've heard the term metabolic health a lot. What is metabolic health? What does that mean?
Yeah, so metabolic health means that your body's able to create energy and use your stored calories for fuel. It's as simple as that. So when you think about the majority of people have over 400,000 calories stored in their body. So why would it stop if we created a calorie deficit? Why is this stopping? It's because our body is no longer functioning properly. And a lot has to do with where we're storing our fat and the visceral fat. So it's the waste, because all of, with metabolic dysfunction, a lot of the excess sugars and things like that get kind of dumped into the visceral, and the visceral is not accessible to the body for energy. So that's why you go on a diet and then you kind of use other fat stores, but then because the visceral, the belly fat is so dangerous and inflammatory, the body won't readily use that because it doesn't want to promote more dysfunction and toxins in the body.
Interesting. My guest is Sherry Stoka. She created, or her business is Wayless MD in the Milwaukee area. Check it out. She's all about, you do such great things with clients too. I've seen on your website where you track their progress and all that kind of stuff. How did you get started in this racket? What made you passionate enough to make this a career?
Yeah, I've always been interested in health. I mean, in very different and weird ways as a younger child. And I've been always like obsessed with, I was an athlete my whole life. I mean, I played college soccer. I went on to play professionally in the women's league. And so like, nice. I was always like, pretty into that. Again, not always in a healthy way, but it really drove me to learn. I was like, I wanted to learn about the body. And, I was actually diagnosed with an autoimmune disease when I was 29. And then that drove me down the whole rabbit hole of like, what? This healthy athlete girl, whatever. Yeah. And I have autoimmunity, and that's kind of what drove me into like really understanding the body, not only how it loses weight, but how it stays healthy.
Where do you stand on gluten? I have a close relative who also has an autoimmune issue, and she is completely gluten-free.
Yeah.
And when I've done keto, I've noticed in my body no inflammation. It's remarkable. And I've had doctors tell me, even if you don't have celiacs, if you give up gluten, you'll feel better.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on that? Because a lot of the things we're talking about, fiber or carbs, there is gluten in those things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it's a little bit simple because in the United States of America, we process the heck out of our grains, and they're GMO. They're not real. So the body does not recognize the grains as it recognizes it as foreign now. So now instead of eating like a real grain that you would get maybe in Europe, in Italy, you're now getting a foreign object that the immune system is now attacking. So it all comes down to the quality of the food in America. I mean, period. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Wow. Let me ask you this. If you could only eat healthy or exercise, which of those is more important?
Food.
That's what I thought. Okay. I think we've talked about this before. I'm having deja vu. And I think I remember you saying that a healthier diet, because when you get to a certain age, correct me if I'm wrong, but you got to exercise till you're blue in the face. It's not going to do anything unless you're taking care of your body and feeding it the right things, right?
Yeah. The saying, you can't out exercise a poor diet.
Right.
When you poison your when you poison your food, whether you do it intentionally or not, your body's always going to be fighting against it. And so exercise, you already have your body's already in a stress state. And then now exercise is also putting your body in a stress state, which is supposed to be helpful because again, it's kind of like that fine line of like, pushing the limits. We grow by, it's like anything else, like even our emotional, like if, heartaches, we grow by those situations, and that's how the body is. And when you're already in a stressed, chronically inflamed disease state, and now you add exercise, now you're putting more fuel in the fire.
We've got Sherry Stoka here from Wayless MD in Milwaukee. We'll have more with her, and she's going to... You ready for some questions, Sherry? We'll do this right after a short...
I'm ready.
All right. Very short break. We'll be right back. It's Night Light with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
From Denmark to De Pere, this is 97.9 WGBW.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Matt Nair on Air.
It is our 1 year anniversary here on Matt Nair on Air. Thank you, Greg and Calvin, for being on this journey with me. It's been great.
Thanks for having me. I can't speak for Calvin.
I'm always thrilled to be here.
Unbridled.
The enthusiasm
enjoyment.
brimming over from you, Calvin. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you.
Matt Nair on Air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Todd Alba Show.
Donald J. Trump has been officially certified the winner of the 2024 election the way that the Constitution dictates. You see how simple that is? There's a vote, you certify the results, democracy moves on. You might not like the results. The person I wanted to have elected didn't win, but that's the way democracy works. Unlike 4 years ago on January 6th, where rioters stormed the Capitol.
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
The first time seeing my son, I feel like my life did a 180. He really a definition of like why he loves somebody.
Through all of fatherhood's first, never stop being a dad. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Fear you may be missing out? We're always streaming on TuneIn and the Civic Media app. Enjoy listening live or catch up by finding the podcast at civicmedia.com.
My guest is Sherry Stoka. She is the founder of Wayless MD. She's a dietitian and a nutritionist. Check out Wayless MD down in the Milwaukee area. Can people find out more information about your business, Sherry, if they don't live in the Milwaukee area? Or do you offer any kind of online consultations or that kind of stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I actually franchised it, so we do have locations all over. But a lot of our services are 100% virtual. So absolutely.
cool.
And that's all on our website.
Okay. Good to know. All right. We've got some questions here from listeners. Thank you for being a good sport here. And Paula says, oops, that's a TV. Steve says, Grandma Krieger asks, is real butter better for you instead of margarine? Been conflicting stories through the past years.
Oh my gosh. Real butter all the way. Do not ever, ever, ever consume anything out of a tub.
Interesting. Would you say that's one of the biggest problems? Like you talked about poisons. I mean, I feel like food right now is kind of where tobacco was 30 years ago. Like the stuff they're putting in it, they want us to get addicted. So we keep buying
100%.
it. Right? Okay.
100%.
All right. Here's another one for you from the 608. Oh, I'm sorry. From the 608. Oh, Steady Eddie says, Pete, I have a nutrition question for Sherry. Are the seed oils like canola, corn, soybean, and others unhealthy? They are everywhere. They are in chips, salad dressing, and many other food products. I use extra virgin olive for cooking and try to avoid the others. What are your thoughts on what oils are healthy and what oils are unhealthy?
Such a great question. Okay. So seed oils are industrialized and they are completely toxic to the body. They cause instant inflammation. So
wow.
Soy, canola, everything that he said, right on track. Like this is a big piece to our chronic disease because all diseases begin with inflammation, and seed oils immediately cause inflammation in the body because how they're processed and industrialized. Now, what I will say is absolutely olive oil, extra virgin, but you don't want to cook with olive oil. It has a very low, fats are very fragile. So olive oil is amazing, extra virgin, organic is best. But you don't, if you're going to cook with it, it has to be a very low temperature. Otherwise you damage the fat and it could also create like inflammatory compounds. But cooking, you want to cook with either butter, coconut oil. I mean, you could even cook with, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but like lard is better to cook. Anything at high temperature, oils get damaged, and the seed oils are already damaged. So you don't want to supercharge the damage effect in the body.
That's so deceptive because it sounds like it should be healthy because you're saying seeds. They sound of the earth,
Do you see
but I guess
this?
that's how they get you.
This is totally insane. Yeah. I don't know how politically correct I need to be. I say it all the time. I'm like, just do a little search on baby formulas. Like if anyone is pregnant, don't use any baby formulas. I mean, they've been shown to cause necrotizing, short bowel, the food is poison. I mean, it just is. So we have to be very mindful of this.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another one for you, Sherry. What's your take on calorie deficit?
Okay.
That was a very sinister.
Oh my God. I feel like I would have told you to ask those questions, but, okay. So calorie deficits don't work because of the metabolic dysfunction. So unfortunately, if you were a healthy, athlete, younger child, and you're like, okay, let's kind of let's ease up on the calories, you'd probably lose a little bit of weight. But now the body, like I said, it no longer accesses calories in the body any longer when you create a calorie deficit because of the metabolic dysfunction. So that's why weight loss is very short term. I mean, the good news is that we know how to hijack all of that. But unfortunately, again, it all comes down to the foundational health.
Really interesting. Sherry Stokas here answering our diet and nutrition questions. Can you stay through the news? I want to get to the top 5 unhealthy things we discussed. I think that's important too. Let's try to get one more in here before a break. Bridget from the 818 has a question. Oh, this is a good one. Is avocado oil good for cooking with higher temperatures?
Yes.
I've heard that's better than olive oil because of the carcinogens or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it has a higher smoke point. So just like coconut oil. So again, I don't want to like convolute this, but you have to be careful about where you're getting your oils because they can be very processed. But avocado oil absolutely can be a really good cooking oil because it can withstand like really high temperatures.
Okay, good to know. Steady Eddie, a follow-up. I don't eat a lot of beef, but the beef I do eat is organic grass-fed beef. What are Sherry's thoughts?
Yes, I eat that all the
way,
time.
right? Okay.
I mean, beef is great. I mean, so many nutrients and that's another thing that I think we should have another talk about it sometime about the fake veggie burgers versus real meat and all of that.
Oh, that's a great one. Okay.
Yeah.
Bridget also with a follow-up. We've got about 30 seconds before our break. Why is everything about protein now?
Well, protein is super important. Especially as you age and because the standard American diet is deficient in protein. And that's why people are like wasting away. And you hear all this stuff like, oh, muscle loss, this causes muscle loss. It's because we don't get high quality protein anymore. So it's funny that she asked that question because I don't really hear about the push about protein, but we're pushing protein all the time because of how important it is.
Oh, this is enlightening. Sherry Stokas here. She's going to stick around through the news, Civic Media's award-winning news. We will be right back with more, and I'm going to tell you the top 5 New Year's weight loss resolutions that fail every time, courtesy of Sherry. We'll be right back with more Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You don't have to call me and tell it. I don't want to be your son.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for Nightlight with Pete Schwaba.
Earl Ingram. There may be lead contamination at your children's school. On the next show, we'll discuss the latest statement from Milwaukee Public Schools with Black and a campaign for lead-free water.
The Earl Ingram Show, weekday mornings at 9.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WisCaregiver.com gets you started. Choose between 2 great options. Become a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. Training is free, plus earn a $500 bonus. It's easy to start your new career. Learn more at WisCaregiver.com.
Local radio for you and your community. It's Civic Media's mission with stations across Wisconsin. Find your favorites at civicmedia.us. This is 97.9 WGBW Denmark, Green Bay's real news and great conversation, a Civic Media radio station.
ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. Israel and top leadership of Hamas have agreed to the core elements of a Gaza hostage release and ceasefire. Haggling continues over the details.
ABC News learning the details of a potential deal are broken up into 3 main phases, starting with the release of 33 hostages, including at least 2 Americans. Over the next 42 days, Israeli forces would withdraw from parts of Gaza and allow much-needed aid in. The Biden administration, Qatar, Egypt, and the incoming Trump administration all involved.
ABC's Ian Pannell in Tel Aviv. Capital One says it's deeply disappointed after the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau sued the bank, asserting it cheated account holders out of more than $2 billion in savings account interest. Brown-Forman, maker of Jack Daniels, said it's reducing its global workforce by 12%. It's also closing its Louisville barrel-making plant. This is ABC News.
Hey, it's family time at Chula Vista with the right kind of fun for everyone. Wisconsin's most complete resort experience has everything you want. Fine-tuned for 70 years by 4 generations of the Kaminsky family. Chula Vista can be easygoing with colorful scenic river walks, a rejuvenating spa visit, relaxing at outdoor fire pits, or you can go all out in 80,000 square feet of indoor water park and outdoors with cross-country skiing, sledding, and snowshoeing. Dining comes any way you like it, from pizza to Wisconsin's #1 ranked steakhouse. More than 600 guest rooms to choose from with $10 million in updates. Chula Vista, everything you've been wanting, all right here on site. Check it out at chulavistaresort.com.
Discover Chula's Winter Wonderland. Miles of freshly groomed trails, skiing, sledding, snowshoeing. Check out bonus gift cards at chulavistaresort.com.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. Winter brings colder temperatures and darker days, and Wisconsinites might find themselves paying more for electricity and heating. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources is sharing some energy-saving tips to help residents keep their utility bills down. To put a dent in a higher-than-usual bill, DNR officials are suggesting doing things like lowering thermostats when leaving your home, keep shades open during the day to allow sunlight to heat the home, and check your home for cracks or holes that may be allowing heat out and the cold in. Finding the right job can be a tough transition for service members leaving the military. Normally, troops go through a transition assistance program to help them land on their feet. But the Department of Labor has a new program, which is partnered with companies and businesses that want to hire veterans. The program is in the pilot phase right now, but James Rodriguez from the Department of Labor says they want to expand it further.
And we're going to look to build that out even more in the future, so we can hope to do the same type of support for every service member in the future, which would be ideal. However, it does take a lot more work and a lot more resources to make sure that
The Packers packed their bags. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Packers were cleaning out their lockers after losing to the Eagles on Sunday. Green Bay lost at least 4 players on offense due to injury during the game, including left guard Elton Jenkins and center Josh Myers, who suffered a fractured leg. The backups committed some costly penalties that wiped out some first downs. Right guard Sean Ryan.
Yeah, it's, seeing those fucking little yellow flags on the floor really just kind of kills your vibe, but you got to be able to just move on and flush it. And, we had a couple holdings that negated huge gains for us. And the only thing to do about that, I guess, is just be better.
Elsewhere in the NFL, the Chicago Bears are set to meet with Mike McCarthy about their head coaching position. McCarthy fired by the Cowboys after 5 seasons in Dallas. NBA, the Bucks are back home tonight. They host the Sacramento Kings in Milwaukee. The Badgers are at the Kohl Center against the Ohio State Buckeyes. With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Lisa Hale with WGBW News. Your news in depth. Find it in the news section at WGBW.FM.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Clear but not as cold tonight, lows near 0. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, a chance of flurries in the afternoon, highs in the mid-20s. Continued warming Thursday and Friday, temps well into the 30s before much colder air returns for the weekend. Bathroom remodels, only $99 a month at BCI Bath and Shower.
What's worse, fast drivers or slow drivers? Karina listening on WAUK in Milwaukee.
Slow drivers are the worst. They think too slow. They stop in the middle of the highway to think about where they're going. Maybe they need to turn left and right. They changing lines for oh my God, I can do all day long.
Karina, can you tell us what you really think?
The Todd Alba Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. The Dom Salvia Show.
Brad Schimmel, a J6 sympathizer, and he wants to be your next Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice. When he was Attorney General of Wisconsin, he spent thousands of dollars on memorial coins.
I would have been fired
that stood
if
for
I'd done that.
Kicking ass every day. Hey, if you got to get a coin that says it, you're probably not doing it.
With your face on it.
The Dom Salvia Show. Weekdays from 4 till 6 on the Civic Media Radio Network and on the Civic Media app. Maggie Dog.
Top of the show at 2 p.m., I dissect Jack Smith's January 6th insurrection report. You're not going to want to miss this lawyer lady breaking it down for you.
The Broadcasting live from the Civic Media Studios in Green Bay, this is Night Light with Pete Schwaba, your inside source on everything entertainment from Wisconsin to Hollywood.
Whatever gets you
And now, a guy who always reads between the lines until he sees a car coming, Pete Schwaba.
Welcome back. Kicking off hour number 2 here on a Tuesday night edition of Night Light, where we are broadcasting statewide from beautiful, freezing downtown Green Bay. Great to have you with me on this night. We are talking to, we've got live music coming up with a couple guys from Ask Your Mother, Eric Rathsack and Adam Krause, who have been here before, and they are going to rock the house, so to speak, in just a few minutes. Right now, we've got a few more minutes with Sherry Stoka. She is the founder of Wayless MD in the Milwaukee area, and she is a dietitian and nutritionist, and lots of fun to talk to. I always like talking to you, Sherry, so I can find out what I'm doing wrong when it comes to my eating habits. It's nice to have someone to check. In our exchange earlier today, you listed one of the top 5 New Year's weight loss resolutions that fail every time, and this really confused me. You said, why reducing calories and exercising more doesn't work for losing weight.
Yeah.
Is it a math thing? What's the deal there?
Well, I know, and that's like the biggest. That's why we're all still trying the same things, and we end up where we were because it doesn't work. And again, it has to do with the metabolic health, and it has to do with the body's ability to access calories in our fat stores. And because the fat stores now have become so toxic and so inflammatory, the body only accesses a certain amount of fat and then it stops. So you run the risk. So people that, try to go low calorie for a prolonged period of time, the body's not going to touch the fat that they're going after, and it's going to start to go after muscle once they use up what we call the subcutaneous fat. So this is what's never talked about. And so people, again, they continue to do the same things and they continue to end up where they were. And then they continue to gain even more because then now they've lost muscle and now they're in the worst metabolic healthy state.
How important it's funny you say that. The one thing I have been able to stick to, I just do like a very basic 30-minute weight routine once a week. I've been told that's almost more important than cardio. So if I have to give up that or my walk, I give up the walk and I still go to the gym. How important is resistance training to people as they get older?
Super duper duper important. Cardio is great, but it's not really doing anything for muscle mass. And muscle mass is the driver of metabolic health.
Very interesting. Conrad, what do you bench?
I haven't done it in a while, but last time I did it was 2 plates.
2 plates?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to give him I was giving him the ability to impress you, and he was honest. Okay. So
5 plates, sorry.
5 plates, there you go. So, Sherry, you also sent me something that said 8 unhealthy New Year's resolutions that set you up to fail. And I'm guilty of so many of these. The first one is giving up a food group. Yeah. Is that not sustainable?
It's not. And you can create a lot of nutrient deficiencies and the body's going to rebel at some point, right? And the body finds its way to get what it wants. So we need all the food groups. That's the problem. There's certain food groups that we're eating too much of, and there's certain food groups that now is not food. So we just have to be mindful of when we're restricting, how long we restrict for, because again, your body's going to tell you what it needs eventually.
Okay, well said. Another one was setting extreme weight loss goals. Is the issue there the key word being extreme, or should you not set any goals? Should you just try to make a life change? Is that where that question is going, or that topic?
Yeah, I think it's, because people still say like, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds by so-and-so. And like realistically, like I said before, everything will be, if you are looking for short-term weight loss, then that's fine. If you're looking for long-term weight loss, we got to be realistic. We have to look at the foundation. You can't ignore the fact that maybe you're eating McDonald's, but only having like 1 meal a day, and you're drinking, you have to look at the full picture and be realistic with what your goals are. And, there's a lot of information out there like, oh, you shouldn't lose more than 2 pounds a week. That's so dangerous. I don't believe that at all. But I just believe that what's super important is if you're losing weight, you better know what you're losing. Because if you don't know what you're losing, now you're in a sticky situation because of like muscle fat and lean body tissue and all of that.
We got another question here. How are green supplements like Bloom? Are they safe? Are they effective?
What supplements?
Bloom. Have you heard of that?
No. What is Bloom?
Like green supplements.
Green?
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I mean, without looking, because I scrutinize everything and I look at the label because everything is like now they market it as healthy, right? So I'm always like, send me the label, send me the ingredients. So I can't really say without knowing. I mean, greens just in general are crucial that we're all not getting anymore because the standard American diet doesn't even include vegetables anymore. So, and that's what feeds all the healthy gut bacteria and that type of thing.
Right. Here's another one from Bridget in the 818. Can you lose weight after menopause?
Absolutely. 100%.
Sounds like that's a good yes.
100%.
Is it harder to do, Sherry, or is it is it
because of our state of health, the norm is that it's hard, right? This is what we hear. This is what we hear.
Okay.
So we start to believe it. We may have like a little bit, our metabolism may slow down a tiny, tiny bit, but it really has to do with your metabolic health. That is what I found in working with people. There is changes. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. But it really has to do with our current state of health more so than anything.
Interesting. Let's go back to the list here. Here's another one that confused me. Going from no exercise, and this is the 8 unhealthy New Year's resolutions to set you up to fail.
Yeah.
Going from no exercise to daily exercising. See, I think to the layman like me, that would be a good thing.
No, I don't do that with people. I'm like, you have to start slow. I'll give an example.
Okay.
I just actually started taking dance lessons, and I am not a dancer. I just told you I'm an athlete, right? So I'm like, I'm going to step outside my comfort zone and I'm going to do something fun. And so I go in there and I'm like, they're doing all this stuff. I'm like, no, I need to know 1 or 2 things that I can work on for the week, So it's the same thing. Like, work on a couple things. Don't get overwhelmed. Start slow because it's a process. It's a progression. And that's what turns into more of like a sustainable like habits.
Very interesting. Is it too late for me to be a college athlete? I've still got all 4 years of eligibility.
No,
Okay.
and I absolutely not. And that's so I truly believe that. Like I feel like our belief systems like put a ceiling on all of our goals and things like that because that's just what we're told. But I feel like there's so many people can reach so many things that they never even thought possible if we just didn't listen to the news all the time.
I am so motivated right now. Tell Eric and Adam I'm leaving. I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to swim in the Fox River right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's another one, and this one I totally get. Giving up too many habits at once. And I've been guilty of that too. It's like, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and then like it lasts 3 days, right?
100%. You just can't do it. You're going to want to shoot yourself in the head the next day, right? I mean, like people might be eating super healthy and then all of a sudden I find out they're having, 3 Pepsis a day. It's like, so it's a process and and the standard American diet and the things that we eat is actually like crack cocaine. So it's addictive. And so it's actually like a withdrawal process. You have to slowly wean off certain foods because of what it does intentionally to dopamine and certain neurotransmitters in the brain.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, so this last one, we kind of touched on fasting. You have fasting or cleansing. I know tons of people, especially when I lived in LA, that did the cleanse, and I've done fasting. And I will say when I fast, or if I do a 16-hour fast, my sleep scores are insane. I sleep so much better. What's a healthy way to fast, in your opinion?
Okay, so that is very different for everybody because you've been a faster. everyone has their threshold. And when you are seeing benefits, that means fasting, that means that amount is good for you. So if somebody came to me like I just had today and they're like, I've never fasted and I'm looking to do it. Well, then I'm like, okay, well, let's just start with like 12 hours because that's easy. But then you can continue fasting. Absolutely, Pete. I mean, I don't want you to think that I meant fasting. Fasting is how they healed disease back in the day.
Right.
I mean, you're healing the gut, you're cleansing the body, you're mentally, your acuity is off the charts.
It's so great.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think everyone is just very, very different. It's kind of like an exercise. You start slow and you build up to it.
It's interesting. It's almost liberating. Like I would do a 36-hour fast, and the first time I did it was kind of tough, and then I would try to do that once a week. And I loved getting up going, I don't have to think about food today. Because a lot of people's day is going, what am I going to eat? When am I going to eat it?
Totally.
It's like a reward almost. And I love not having to make that decision. And then I did notice, like you said, mental acuity. Your brain is so sharp.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
All right. So how can people find out? I really appreciate this, Sherry. It's been great catching up with you again.
Yeah, this has been really fun.
The info you give is priceless. Where can people find out more information on Wayless MD other than a Google? Can you steer them somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Go to our website, waylessmd.com. You can certainly call our office, which is 262-226-2046. But that you're going to have all the information you need to get in touch with us. We're on all the social media outlets as well.
It's such a great site. Check it out and check out Sherry's work. The next time you're here, just to mess with you, I'm going to wear like a fat suit. And I'm going to say, here's what I've been doing.
Well, I can't wait for the next time because I love talking to you. This is fun.
Absolutely. Right back at you, my friend. Okay. Have a great night. Thanks so much. And we'll do this again soon. It was fun.
Sounds awesome. Thank you.
All right. Sherry Stoka, Wayless MD. Check it out. Hey, when we come back, two of our favorite guests are here, right, Conrad?
Ask your mother.
I can't wait to find out what they bench. It's going to be great. All right. We're coming right back with Ask Your Mother. Eric and Adam are in the hizzy. Is that what the kids say? I can say hizzy, right?
I don't say that.
All right. I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to tie my shizzles. All right. Pete Schwaba, Nite Lite, Civic Media Radio Network. Coming right back.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW.
Hi, I'm Michael Friedman, CEO of Simple Life Hospitality. Let us take the hassle out of vacation rental property management. We'll maximize your earnings and handle every detail from cleaning to maintenance and repairs. For guests, enjoy a stay that feels like home with hand-selected properties, personal touches like local recommendations, and extras like concierge service that will make your trip unforgettable. Whether you're a homeowner or a traveler, experience the Simple Life. Visit simpleliferentals.com.
Civic Media, Wisconsin's source for real news and great conversation, offers podcasts of all of our daily shows online and on demand. Simply go to civicmedia.us, click on daily shows, and choose the podcast that you want to download. Shows are updated daily, or you can save them and listen all at once. Our podcasts are sponsored by UW Organ and Tissue Donation. You are an organ donor, right? Talk to your family. Get the dot. Save lives. Learn more at heroicdeed.com.
I'm Dan Schaefer. Let's recombobulate. In the first week of the new session of the Wisconsin State Legislature, Republicans fast-tracked a measure that would put a question on the ballot in the upcoming spring election that would enshrine voter ID in the state constitution. Two things on this. First, it is telling that Republicans made this their very first order of business. Senate Democratic leader Dianne Hesselbein responded to this saying it's not cost of living or health care or gun violence that Republicans wanted to focus on, but a constitutional amendment. Telling, isn't it? But that leads to the second piece. Republicans are clearly doing this for politically motivated reasons. By having this on the spring election ballot, they're betting it will make it more likely that people who showed up to vote for Donald Trump in November will be heading to the polls to help elect right-wing candidate Brad Schimmel to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. That election is on April 1st, so buckle up.
Find all of Dan's work at the Recombobulation area and on our website at civicmedia.us.
You're listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home of Mino and the Mayor. Air.
I get so lost sometimes.
Sound like John was saying air. Let's get these guys in here. We've got Ask Your Mother in the house coming up. I did get a text. I got to find this because it was from Paula, who had been watching Landman. And she says, Paula from the 920 says, we've been watching Landman, and we think the show would have been good without the very unrealistic storyline with the women. Okay, Paula said it. I didn't want to say it was a woman thing, but his wife and his daughter, it's too much. Like, they're very open sexually, and that's fine. You know, I always wanted my kids to be able to approach me with anything. We have that kind of relationship, but it's so gratuitous in Landman. It's hard to watch. And you're right, Paul. I find myself fast-forwarding during certain storylines. Like I said, I like the whole oil thing and how they find it and the patch and, you know, watching the Roughnecks and that kind of stuff and the drama about finding oil. But I fast forward. Yeah. You heard me.
Oh, you're talking about
Are you
Landman.
watching it, or did you hear me talk? They're playing.
No, we've been watching it.
Oh,
My
okay.
wife and I have been, yeah.
What
Well,
do
I
you
should
think?
say I've been watching it, and she's been falling asleep to it. But
Hey, okay. I'll tell you this. My wife and I watched a movie one night. She literally fell asleep during the opening credits.
Oh, no.
She wakes up at the end, and she goes, so
What
what happened? I'm like, no, not doing this. Hey, that is the voice of Erith Rathsack, and he is the front man for the band Ask Your Mother.
I am.
A Northeast Wisconsin band, and Adam Krause is here, too, tuning his guitar. That is music to my ears. Everybody's ears.
Yeah, tuning's an issue in the frigid, frozen weather, but we'll do our best.
Wait, when you say it's cold, that scares me. Like, are the pipes? Can you not?
no, I should
can
be
you-
all right.
Okay,
I should be all right.
It does affect your singing, though, right?
Yeah, actually, it makes it okay, better. When I prefer, if I given the choice with my voice, I would prefer cold versus hot.
Okay.
Like, give me like we just played up at Kroll's in December outside before a Packer game, and that was perfect. Like, my voice felt great. But like, give me, if it's 90 out and I have to sing all I don't know. I'd prefer the 30 degrees versus 90.
Wow, really? Okay.
For singing wise, not saying that I'd like to play outside in that
Yeah.
type of temperature, but yeah.
Did you guys see Craig T. Nelson sing the national anthem?
I didn't. I
before the
saw that
Pack-
he did it. I didn't see him do it though.
Yeah.
Did anybody see? Were you there for that game?
I was not there. I was looking though for Luther and Dauber from Coach, but turns out
He didn't make the
they
trip.
didn't make the trip. No.
I thought we talked about it. I thought he was fine, you
Yeah.
know, but he's 80 and it was
80 or
freezing.
more.
He's 80 years
It
old.
was very cold. I mean, that wasn't. I mean, when we played outside, that was
No, it was
that
like
was like
30s.
28 or 30
Yeah.
degrees. That was
Pretty
cold
comf-
that
it was
day.
cold,
That would
but
have
it
been
was
tough.
It was comfortable,
Especially with the guitar, your fingers. That's
yeah,
gotta be tough.
that's the hardest part is the
Yeah.
is trying to stay limber, and the tuning is way off.
Yeah.
Which is my excuse in that in that weather.
It's good to have you guys here. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us back.
How
We
are
like-
things in general? How are things with Ask Your Mother?
Good.
Staying busy?
Yeah, we're as busy as we want to be.
Okay.
Mhm.
Boy, that's a nice place to be. Huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We don't like try not to oversaturate what to the market, and try not to so it's not like boring to us as well.
Yeah.
It makes it more of an event, makes it more fun
Yeah.
when we're not playing as much.
Our shows, we're at a point in our careers where our shows are events. Our shows are, a big deal, and we want people to feel that, and we feel that too. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Tell me again, I know you guys have told me this before. Where does the name Ask Your Mother come from?
So, like, we're the new guys, so like we weren't there for the naming of the band. The story's been told to us, so we can only
Sounds like you
assume
don't
that it's true.
approve.
Well, no, it's I get it.
The story's been passed down through the ages. Yeah.
So apparently they were just joking around because like everybody in the band's a dad, and they were joking around about how many times a day they tell their kids like ask your mother, and then like one of the guys was like, that's the band name. And like that should be the band name. It'd be like, what's the name of the band? Ask Your Mother. And then like, oh yeah, okay.
That's
and then it just they
awesome.
couldn't think of anything better and it just stuck. So that was it.
What do you guys have coming up? I'm sure were the holidays busy for you? Do you have a busy time of year?
Busier in summer than the winter. And that's kind of on purpose. There's more festivals going on, more, stuff like that. But we
Yeah.
do have a really big show coming up. I'll let Adam talk about that because he wanted to talk about that
You
one.
talk about the other
I'll
ones.
talk about
I'll
the one-
talk about the big shows.
I'm going to talk about, well, actually, Saturday we're in Freedom.
That's right.
Freedom, Wisconsin at Buzz's. So we'll be playing
It's
there.
like the suburb, right, of Green Bay, basically?
It's not
kind of
far. It's kind of
Okay.
it's probably closer to Green Bay than it is. It's pretty close to De Pere, so it's not too far from there. We are also doing the following week. I think we're in Schwaba on Lanes coming up.
Schwaba on Lanes the following week. Yep.
And then that's on Friday, and then I think Saturday. I don't
Fond du Lac. We'll be back in Fond du Lac.
Jeez, that's down in the
Back in the lac. All right,
Yeah.
Fond du Lac. So when is that?
That would be the
25th.
Yeah.
Fat Joe's in
Mhm.
Fond du Lac
Oh, I
on the
love that
25th. Schwaba on
They
Lanes
had a
the 24th.
fire there last year or something, didn't they? Or,
That I am not sure of.
I wasn't there. At least that's,
You
what,
didn't-
that's what I said.
You told the cops.
Well, you lit the place on fire
Yeah.
metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
We light it up. Yeah, for sure.
All right, I like it when you can light it up like that. Well, that's cool. So what's the big event?
So Adam, go ahead.
Oh my gosh.
We got one coming up in February. Actually,
February 15th, we're doing our second annual grandmother of all shows with Grand Union. The band Grand Union are our good friends in that band. They do the country, we do the rock. It's a country and rock super show. It's a blast. We get up, we play with them, they play with us. We do songs
Interchange
together.
members. It's kind of fun.
Wow.
It's a great time. That one's taking place at Tanner's in Kimberly.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
that's
the cool part about that is it's legit nonstop music. Like we have all our stuff set up. Both bands have their stuff set up at the same time. They'll start playing or we'll start playing. I don't know who's going to start. We'll probably do a coin flip like we
Do
did
a coin
last year.
flip, see who goes first, to play a little bit. Yep.
Yeah. And then the other, like as soon as we're done, or they're done or whoever goes first, then the next band goes and it's nonstop. And then at the end, I think we did like 5 or 6 songs as
it was a
super
blast,
group,
man.
like everybody
Wow.
on stage at
Oh,
once.
that's
Yeah.
fun.
It was insane.
It
All
is-
right.
It's a show like none other that we do during the year. So it's a real good time.
All right, we'll talk more about that, and then you guys are going to play something.
Yeah, we got a
Come
couple
back?
songs
Yeah, we
ready
can
to
do
go.
some things.
All right, fantastic. Ask Your Mother. Eric Rathsack and Adam Krauser here will be back. They're gonna rock. They're gonna blow the roof off the dump. That's what we say in the entertainment business. I can say that, right?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back with more Nightlight with Pete Schwaba on the Civic Media Radio Network.
Philadelphia freedom took me knee-high to a man. Yeah, give me a piece of mind my daddy never had. For Philadelphia freedom, shine on me. I love you, shine a light through the eyes of the one left behind. Shine the light, shine the light, shine the light, won't you shine the light?
Listening to the Talk of Green Bay, WGBW, home for the Maggie Dawn Show.
Your news, conversations, and a whole lot of fun. It's all on your local Civic Media radio station or the Civic Media app.
For 97.9 WGBW News, I'm Lisa Hale. The old Georgia Pacific paper mill in Green Bay is up for sale, and officials say they've had about a dozen interested parties tour the property since it went on the market in October. Georgia Pacific officials asked the city's planning commission this week to delay changing the zoning of the 50-acre site from industrial to downtown land use for at least 30 days because they expect offers to purchase to come any day now. The Planning Commission voted 5-1 to recommend rezoning of the property on Day Street. The Green Bay Common Council will vote on the rezoning at an upcoming meeting. Governor Tony Evers and the Wisconsin Housing and Economic Development Authority have announced $2 million in grant funding to improve living conditions for those struggling with housing insecurity. According to a press release, 52 organizations across the state will receive a portion of the funding for projects that improve emergency shelters, transitional housing, and extremely low-income housing. Access to affordable housing has become a major issue in many areas as the unhoused population continues to grow across the state. Wisconsin dairy processors can apply for grants through Friday. The Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection is accepting applications for the next round of dairy processor grants. As part of the biennial budget signed by Governor Evers, $200,000 in grant funds are available for licensed dairy processing plants in Wisconsin. They must be engaged in pasteurizing, processing, or manufacturing milk or dairy products. Grants will be awarded for projects up to $50,000 and 2 years in duration. I'm Lisa Hale, 97.9 WGBW News. For news anytime, log on to WGBW.FM.
On your entertainment beat, I'm Pete Schwaba. It's one thing not to advance in a nationally televised singing competition show. It's another thing to storm off when you're eliminated. And it's still another thing to do it dressed as a toad. Macy Gray is a Grammy-winning artist. On The Masked Singer, where her identity was concealed, she was referred to as Toad in a Hole, also known as a disgusting name for a breakfast plate. Gray eventually came back for the Q&A where she said, "You know, I've been singing for a long time and now I'm a toad." Ouch. At least she got paid. Timothée Chalamet will not only host Saturday Night Live in January, he will also be the musical guest. SNL announced the actor will make his third appearance as host January 25th. In addition to receiving rave reviews for his acting in the Bob Dylan biopic A Complete Unknown, the actor has also been lauded for his singing. Chalamet says he spent 5 years preparing for the role, which included singing lessons, and was adamant about not lip-syncing. For more showbiz fun, tune into Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, weeknights from 6 to 8 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
You can always continue the conversation on social media. Share your thoughts when you find and follow Civic Media on Facebook, X, and Instagram.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Clear but not as cold tonight, lows near zero. For tomorrow, increasing clouds, a chance of flurries in the afternoon, highs in the mid-20s. Continued warming Thursday and Friday, temps well into the 30s before much colder air returns for the weekend. Bathroom remodels, only $99 a month at BCI Bath
The
and Shower.
Maggie Dawn Show.
800-329-4115.
confirmation
Currently,
hearing.
it's 12
I've
degrees.
never disparaged women serving in the military.
Except for, the podcast interview in late November of 2024 when he said women in combat weaken the military. Except for that, Pete, did you get body snatched? Are you not the same guy that sat down in the Brosphere podcast?
The Maggie Dawn Show. Weekdays from 2 till 4 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the Civic Media app.
Ever tried balancing a dozen eggs in one hand while hopping on one foot? Or maybe juggling cats while riding the unicycle? Sounds ridiculous, right? But guess what? That's exactly what texting while driving is like. Your human brain only has the capacity to focus on one thing at a time. So when you're behind the wheel, give driving your undivided attention.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
On Wednesday's show, we're live from our Oshkosh studio. We'll be joined by Nate Olson of Olson Legal Group. He's
author Jody Hinman. We have kind of an all UP show because Jody lives in the UP. She's going to be in the studio, though. She's going to come in and talk about her book. And then we have director of the film Green and Gold, Anders Lindwall, will be here. He is also one who hails from the UP. I don't know that he lives there now, but it's kind of a fun little theme. We'll talk about the movie, Green and Gold. I want to ask him how he thought Craig T. Nelson did singing the national anthem. I don't think he's going to badmouth his lead actor. So
you can't do that.
Yeah, it's a good show tomorrow night, too. Right now, we've got Ask Your Mother in the studio, or part of Ask Your Mother. Eric Rathsack and Adam Krause are here. 2/5
of Ask Your
Mother. And
Mother.
the baby, and a happy birthday is in order. It's Adam's birthday.
It's Adam's birthday.
Thank you. Conrad, do you feel like singing?
No.
No.
Oh, you got that vocal thing. That's right. Yeah. Otherwise, he would. He's saving.
I got that phlemm. I can't do it tonight.
He's
Thank
saving
you.
himself. He's going to sing backups with us later.
That's your birthday present. Conrad won't sing happy birthday to you, so we appreciate that. But it's great to have you guys here. You did weddings recently, you said. How was that?
I mean, lucrative.
So really fun, yeah.
Fun. No, they were fun. There was we don't do a ton of them. It's like maybe 3 a year, if that. But one of them was for like a super fan of ours, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Martskis if they're listening. They got married on New Year's. So that was
They
fun.
still married? Things going okay?
As far as I know,
Okay.
yeah.
It's been about 2 weeks, so I hope so.
Tim's so funny though. Like he's been following us for years, and finally his mom was hammered at one of our shows, and was like, "If you ever get married, Tim, I'm hiring Ask Your Mother." And he legit got engaged. And within the hour, he was messaging me and from Mexico, like, "Hey, dude, you gonna play my wedding or what?"
She's a woman of her word,
right?
Booze or no booze.
Mom said she's gonna pay for it, so here we go.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you guys want to play?
So we're gonna do one of them that we played at the weddings. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Got
We
country
don't
and rock coming up, so we'll do a country song, then we'll do a rock song.
We don't really
I
do
think, yeah.
slow songs, but this is one that we did. My wife likes this song, so Amy, if you're listening, which you should be, here.
She better be.
This one's for you.
All right. Ask Your Mother in the studio.
Used to spend my nights out in a barroom. Liquor was the only love I had known. But you rescued me from reaching for the bottom and brought me back from being too far gone. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. I've looked for love in all the same old places. Found the bottom of the bottles always dry. When you poured out your heart, I didn't waste it. There's nothing like your love, to keep me high. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet as strawberry wine. You're as warm as a glass of brandy. And honey, I stay stoned on your love all the time. You're as smooth as Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey. Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah, that's a great song. Nice
I
job.
like that one. Thank you.
I don't know that song. Whose
So
song is that?
Chris Stapleton, that's the version we kind of did, but there has been a bunch of versions. That was he kind of covered that actually
Okay.
from an old. Wow, who did the original? Is it George Jones?
I don't
Maybe.
know.
The Chris
Boy.
Stapleton version's is probably the most popular right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think Stretch does a great job on that song. People love it. We
Yeah.
don't, like you said, we don't do many slow songs, but we learned a few for a couple wedding engagements and things, and so we've been doing that a little bit more in our regular show too, and people just absolutely dig it. So it's a lot of fun.
Tennessee whiskey, it sounds like almost a contradiction. Like I picture some guys still out back behind the barn. Like it doesn't seem like it would be smooth. Like
I mean, maybe to him it was
just the stuff you drink to get somewhere,
compared to the other stuff he was drinking. He's like, this is good.
This is my best batch yet. Eric Ratzak and Adam Kraus, the birthday boy, are here today from Ask Your Mother. They've got some big shows coming up. You've got Freedom. Where can people, if they want to see, you guys just listed the shows, but if they want information where they can just go and buy tickets right away or write it down, where can they find more information?
We are on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram. Just Ask Your Mother. You'll find like the logo and everything on there. We're also on X, formerly known as Twitter, AYM Band on there. Yeah.
Fantastic.
AskMotherBand.com too.
Yes,
we also have
website.
that.
Yeah, there you go. That's where I go.
Yeah.
You guys have a cool website. Just like
Yeah,
a lot going on.
Shout
there.
out to Kevin Schwaba. That's our bass player. He actually designed the whole thing himself. So
And you got a big show coming up at Tanner's in February with another band.
Grand Union. We're calling it the
right.
grandmother of all shows.
That's so great. That's going to be a good one. All right,
It's
cool.
fun. They're a good band. They're an awesome band. And they're fun to play with, and it's kind of fun to mesh both of them together.
Yeah.
It's fun for us because it's something completely different than what we're used to doing for a show.
What do you guys, do you have bands you like to play more than others?
Like as far as like covers, bands
Yeah,
we like to cover?
Songs we like to play.
Songs you get excited or bands you get excited to cover their stuff?
I think it's more. I think bands we get excited to cover their stuff are the songs we don't play. I think in the band because we get so used to what we're playing.
Oh wow!
Yeah, recently we've been playing, and this is a song we used to play and we brought back and comes back. We started playing Possum Kingdom by the Toadies from the
that's fun.
90s. And it's fun because it's a little more, it's difficult. It's not something we play every week. There's songs that we play every week that are obviously fun and they're obviously a great time, and you can see the crowd reaction. That makes it fun no matter what.
Yeah.
But anytime we get to stretch out and do something a little bit different, I think that's where we can see us lighten up a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Do you ever have a desire to play your own stuff, or do you ever work
Adam
an original
actually
in there?
was in a band that did all that.
I did that for quite a while.
Mhm.
I still like to do some more of it if I can. So shout out to the Smack Boys. Shout out to
That was the
Blaine.
name of his band was Smack.
Oh, I like that
Yeah.
too. That's
Blaine,
good too.
Joey.
If all your bandmates are saying that though, the Smack Boys, that's different than Ask Your
They-
Mother. Ask Your Mother's a little more tame. I like that. so.
I actually saw a Smack play live, and
did.
it
You
was
saw the
good.
you saw the reunion
It was
show.
good.
Oh, that's fun.
I was like, I said to the a bunch of the guys in the band, we went and watched them, and I'm like, I'd go see this band. Like they're good.
Do you guys have? Do you think we can another song in before the break? Can we do something?
Sure.
Yeah. What's the next?
You got
one
a
we're doing?
halls there. It's making me nervous. Are we stressing you out?
No,
with your throat?
not even
Okay.
that. It's just I've been battling a little bit of a cold, so I'm
Okay.
trying to clear myself out a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Why don't you look on the bright side of things there, Stretch?
Let me bring up the lyrics so I don't screw them up live on the air.
Sure.
So
Do whatever you need to do.
that's what I do. I don't do this in the show. It's going to be different than what I'm used to.
You just mumble through it like an idiot.
Just lay the phone down there. Nobody could know anyway.
I
so.
know. I just got to bring these up here once.
No problem. Well, do you like the Takamine? I like that guitar
I do.
a lot.
I do.
wish I had one.
And you know what? They're not. At least this one wasn't too expensive. So if it gets banged up a little bit, gets a little character. It's still
That looks awesome.
Yeah,
I
like
love when
it.
a guitar's beat up. Are those more expensive than like an Ovation or?
Typically not, depending on the
Okay.
model you buy. This one is not. I've had this one for a long, long time. But they're workhorses. You can get a lot done, and
I'm ready.
you could go through a lot with them.
Yeah. It's an
I always
awesome
wanted to
guitar.
have like a Willie Nelson guitar. You
Like
know,
just
It's
yeah.
total
just-
destroyed.
yeah.
That would be.
That
I
one's-
love those.
Have you
Yeah.
seen that guitar though?
This
Willie
character,
Nelson's
yeah, like you
Trigger?
said,
Trigger is
character.
the name of it. Yeah,
Right.
He ran out of a burning building with that guitar. Like ran back into the building
Seriously.
to get the guitar and got it out.
Was
Like,
it Fat Joe's?
No,
No, that
he was
wasn't
not
Burning
playing
Building.
there.
No, okay.
He wasn't
I
90.
saw Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard play live.
Jeez,
It was a
that's
great.
awesome.
It was a great show. They came at the end and did Poncho and Lefty together. Freaking amazing.
Have you ever covered Uncloudy Day?
No.
I was listening to that like 2 weeks ago. I had it as loud as my car could. I could listen to anything he sings,
That's awesome.
All right, what do you guys get? Oh, we got about, let's see, we got about 4 minutes? 4 minutes.
We could get that in.
And
We
if you
could do
play
this
us
one.
to the break, that's fine. We'll
Sure.
go into the break with the music. That's totally fine. Ask Your Mother's here, performing live on Nightlight.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine, but I gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while she's having a smoke and she's taking a drag and they're going to bed and my stomach is sick and it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest. Now he takes off a dress. Now let me go. I just can't look, it's killing me and taking control. A jealousy turning saints into the sea, swimming through leaf lullabies, choking on your alibis, but it's just the price of pain. Destiny's calling me, open up my eager eyes, 'cause I'm Mr. Brightside. I'm coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine, but I gotta be down because I want it all. It started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag and they're going to bed and my stomach is sick and it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest. Now he takes off a dress. Now let me go. 'Cause I just can't look, it's killing me and taking control. Jealousy turning saints into the sea, swimming through sick lullabies, choking on your alibis, but it's just the price of pain. Destiny is calling me, open up my eager eyes, 'cause I'm Mr. Brightside. I never
One of my favorites.
You like that one?
Ask Your Mother. We'll be right back with more Nightlight. That'll help me close things down on the Civic Media Radio Network.
WGBW, home for the Todd Albaugh Show.
The Todd Albaugh Show.
Donald J. Trump has been officially certified the winner of the 2024 election the way that the Constitution dictates. You see how simple that is? There's a vote, you certify the results, democracy moves on. You might not like the results. The person I wanted to have elected didn't win, but that's the way democracy works. Unlike 4 years ago on January 6th, where rioters stormed the Capitol.
The Todd Albaugh Show. Weekdays noon till 2 on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app. Matt Nair on air.
Robotaxis made by Zoox are slated to hit the streets of California later on this year. Rides will initially be free for people who agree to test it out. You go first.
Wait, have you ever wanted to drive in a 4-person casket with no driver?
My biggest sticking point about this is the name. Zoox is a cartoon character.
Yeah. Do you think when you just drive, it's going
Awooga.
Matt Nair on air. Weekdays 10 till noon on your local Civic Media radio station and on the app.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
It's easy to listen to your favorite local radio station anytime. Download the Civic Media app from the Apple or Google Play Store.
That's Dave Grohl's birthday today, right? 56.
You have the same birthday as Dave Grohl?
I do.
Wow.
Hey,
You have the same beard as him, too.
Oh, thank you.
Mhm.
Do you have multiple family? No, I shouldn't make a joke.
You know, that's where the comparisons end, I'm afraid.
He took such a I'm like, leave the guy alone. I mean, look, he messed up, but you
I mean,
know,
it's deserved, I guess.
I'd like to know more details about
Right.
what
nobody
exactly
knows
happened,
anybody.
but
Exactly.
nobody knows. Yeah.
And he's made. I used to hear that too when people would say, "Oh, Frank Sinatra he cheated on his wife." I'm like, okay, all right, yeah. And first of all, you weren't there. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. All I know is that he left music that has brought so much joy to people's lives, like Dave Grohl. So you know, whatever. I'll judge him for the things I know, and that's his music, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I think the backlash was fair. That's my take.
Yeah.
We'll see if more comes out.
Doesn't sound like you guys have
It sounds like
mistresses or anything.
No.
No way.
I told you, Conrad.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you guys taking bets on it?
We know how it is with you musicians.
No, we don't have messages. We do joke around about how Adam's sleeping with Joey, our drummer's wife, all the time.
Oh dear.
We do not joke about it.
I'm kidding.
Well, now it's out there.
All right.
Let's cut that part out of the
Yeah.
podcast. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. All right. So we got Eric, lead singer, Adam, guitarist. Eric, who are your influences like growing up? Who did you listen to where you're like, oh man, I want to do that?
Music was something I picked up later. It's kind of weird because a lot of people start out like, I play guitar since I was like 8, or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't start playing guitar until I was in my 20s. And, I knew I always loved music. I was lucky my dad had good music playing around the house. So it was like, I grew up with like Johnny Cash and like Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that. That was definitely, those were big influences on me for sure. Just like the kind of the storytelling that Johnny Cash did, and Bruce Springsteen's like all of his catalog,
And his characters he sings about. Like to me, that's like, it's funny. Bob Dylan is the name you always hear. Oh, he's the greatest American. I mean, Springsteen's body of work over 50 some odd years now. Even his smaller albums where he does ballads and like the lyrics are so beautiful. Have you guys seen the Dylan biopic?
Not yet. No.
Yeah, I want to see it.
I'll definitely see it.
Yeah.
I was
He's
also a
getting
big
good
fan of the
reviews.
Traveling Wilburys, which Bob Dylan was a part of. So
Yeah. No, I love Bob Dylan. I don't mean to disparage, and I'm excited to see the film. What about you, Adam? Like guitar playing wise?
Yeah. We were lucky enough, and we were just kind of talking about them on break, but you brought up Wholehearted by Extreme.
Yeah.
We actually went and saw Extreme at the Epic Center with Living Color opened for them. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
So
They're
good.
still touring Living Color?
Living Color was incredible. I mean, everybody was still on point. Vocally, guitar,
man.
everything was just insane. It was a crazy band. And then Extreme comes out and sounds as good as they ever have. The vocals, the harmonies, and then Nuno Betancourt on guitar is just incredible.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was an insane show. And at the Epic, it's a great place to see a band. It's a great place
That's
to
what I
see
hear.
music.
Absolutely.
I remember the lead singer of Living Color, Corey something or other. That guy came out. I love the song. It's one of my favorite songs of the 90s. And he comes out and he's rocking his hair back. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, he just like had it,
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea they were still touring, though. That's pretty cool.
And they're still cool. They get up on stage and they're the coolest looking guys.
Yeah.
And they can rock. And they're just, it was incredible.
That's so great. Well, do you guys want to, I'm trying to wonder, what should we do here? I wonder if Landman.
Yeah,
quick,
Landman.
Quick review of Landman. We got to talk a little TV.
Yeah, talk a little TV.
I like Landman. I don't know. I thought it's kind of, I'm curious as the direction where he's taking me because I haven't finished it yet. I got a few more episodes to go. Seems like a lot of people die randomly.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, it's just like, wow, that guy just died. Okay, I don't know why.
A lot of accidents on that dude's first 2 days of work. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, don't fall in love with any characters because they're probably going to die, So
Yeah. Billy Bob Thornton's like one of those guys too, like that accent of his. He just like, I don't know,
I
don't
love
even
him
think
as an
it's
actor,
Texas,
though.
but he just got that, he's got a cadence to his
Mhm.
talking that just makes it kind of hypnotic, And they're all smoking on the show. Like
forget
it's the
that he was in
50s.
Tombstone too. Billy Bob was.
He was?
Yeah, he was the fat guy at the.
He was the fat guy at
the
the
Pharaoh
bar.
table.
At
That
the-
was
yeah.
like it's like sitting here playing cards with my brother's kids or something.
I like on Landman, they have a lot of beautiful women on the show.
Yes.
Who are younger. And I'm like, if Billy Bob Thornton hooks up with any of, I'm done. Because
Right.
that would never happen.
But then
But it
then
does
there's Allie Larder,
Yeah.
So I mean, oof. I mean, as my day watching her on
Yeah.
Varsity Blues, I was like, whoa.
She doesn't look any different, really.
No,
She's a good actor. Yeah, the whole cast is great.
Mhm.
All right, well, thank you for that,
Yeah.
for that review. We'll have to, when you finish it, let's talk again, because I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
I'd like to thank my guest tonight, Sherry Stokoe. Was so much fun to talk to about diet and nutrition. And thank you for all your texts and your questions for Sherry. And thank you guys for coming in tonight.
course.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure, man.
Tomorrow night, we have director and creative force behind the film Green and Gold. Anders Lindwall will be here. That's going to be a fun one. It's about the Green Bay Packers, Conrad. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, they're involved somehow. And Jody Hinman will be here to talk about her new book. And right now, the guys are going to play us out. What are you guys thinking?
Well, OAR. We'll do some OAR. Haven't done. We played. We opened for them at Summerfest one time.
Oh, nice. Good night, Wisconsin.
I took this girl out last night and we left around 12. We walked along lonely streets and got to know ourselves. I like to read, she likes to ride. I like to sleep, she loves to stay up all night. My friends say she's crazy, and I agree. That's okay, that's the way I love it to be. And I said, now, hey girl, come with me and let yourself go. Hey girl, come with me and let yourself go, to go. We were out late that night and we danced through the night, yeah. I was holding on to her,